about my love. Wasn't it enough? Just let me know. So
So
I can
first
go
up, wanting to do an icebreaker. So this is kind of a battle of who's not going to suck the most. But gentlemen, I want to know out of these two quarterbacks, who's got the better chance to win MVP? Jimmy Garoppolo or Ryan Tannehill?
Wow,
Vic,
that's
I'll
Yeah.
start off
tough.
with you.
Ooh.
Who'd you say, me?
Yeah. He said you.
That's tough. But I'll say this: with Jimmy Garoppolo still being injured, not being ready for the season yet, I have to look at Ryan Tannehill. Again, he's been given a whipping. At least that he got D Hop. He, he has King Henry. He has some things going for him more than what Jimmy Garoppolo has right now. That Raiders team is a long way from anything to a finished product. So yeah, I'm gonna have to say Tannehill on this one.
I can definitely agree with Tannehill because it's not even. Yes, you've seen the quote unquote emergence or an improvement from year one Malik Willis to year two. Granted, it's all just training clips, but you can see the progress. I still think this is going to be Ryan Tannehill's team. It is currently a who is going to be the backup and who is going to potentially take over next year or in case there is an injury this year. Vic, I do think you put it kind of perfectly. Yes, Garoppolo has Devonte Adams, but I mean, you look at Tannehill, just at the Titans in general. Derrick Henry, top five running back. D Hop, top 10 receiver. Hopefully, progression in Traylon Burks here too. Uh, Chig, who was a very underrated tight end. And just looking over at Jimmy G and the Raiders, you got Adams. That's about it. You can't even really say Josh Jacobs with the whole tag. Plus, again, kind of how you're talking about, we don't know what the injury, and the Raiders have literally added in the contract, we can cut you whenever, and we won't lose a penny.
This. Oh, this one's a tough one. No, my lord. Is it my turn next? Am I
Yeah,
allowed to go?
go ahead.
So I'm gonna like. Here's the thing: Ryan Tannehill has had a top receiver before in the form of AJ Brown.
Yes.
He's had Derrick Henry, and he's had AJ Brown, and they got the number one seed, and then in the playoffs got one and done. The only time they made it to the AFC Championship is when they had a fluke season, just a lightning in a bottle, 9-7 season, and then they just took off. They absolutely took off. But in turn, if the question is which quarterback has a better chance to win MVP, granted, none of these two quarterbacks have any shot at winning MVP as far as I'm concerned. But if I had to pick one, win healthy, if we're not forget the injury right now, I'm gonna take Jimmy G. Because I've seen Jimmy G make it to the not one but two conference championships with Debo Samuel and George Kittle. Yes, he's no longer in the 49ers anymore, and yes, he's with the Raiders. Not a great organization, but I've seen Jimmy G take teams to the promised land and the Super Bowl and a conference championship. So that alone is going to be my reasoning why I'm taking Jimmy G. Tannehill, we know the ceiling with Ryan Tannehill. Okay, you got D Hop. You've had AJ Brown. You haven't done nothing with. You've done nothing. You've literally done nothing with them. You've won and done with Ryan Tannehill in the playoffs. That fluke year, 9-7. Okay, but other than that, Jimmy G has the better resume as far as I'm concerned. That's why I would take Jimmy G, when healthy, to win MVP over Ryan Tannehill.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that. Don, what about you?
Well, when I first looked at this, I was thinking, this is pretty simple to Jimmy G. But when you look at the career numbers side by side, I mean, we're talking 9 seasons for Tannehill versus 10 uh, for Jimmy G. Or Jimmy G's at 9, excuse me, Tannehill's 10. Jimmy G, completion rate 67.6, Tannehill 64.3, so they're pretty comparable. But here's where it gets a little bit out of whack. I mean, you're looking at Jimmy G's numbers from the Patriots, 49ers, 14,289 yards passing, 87 touchdowns, 42 interceptions with a 99.6 rating. But with the 10 seasons for Tannehill, you're talking the Titans, the Dolphins. 33,265 passing yards, 212 touchdowns to 108 interceptions, and a 91.9 rating. So if I'm looking at career numbers and I'm looking at the teams they have right now, and I had to put the ball in the hands of one of these guys and say, you're the one that's going to take us to where we need to go. You're the one that's got to have this MVP season based on these career numbers. I think Tannehill can carry a team with his arm, and I think Jimmy relies more on the help of others. So I would take Tannehill.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely kind of see both sides because with Jimmy, it's easy to be like, oh, you've got Devontae Adams, one of, if not the best receiver. You saw what he's done with the 49ers. But it's also just that contract, the fact that any day or at any moment in time, the Raiders can literally just be like, you're gone. You're not gonna cost us anything. You're gone. We're gonna go on. We're gonna roll with like Aiden O'Connell or something like that. I feel like that is very telling. The fact that he was not honest about his injury is very telling. I mean, you kind of drafted last year for the Titans. You drafted Malik Willis for this situation.
And then Will Levis as well.
Yeah.
You've drafted two quarterbacks. You trying to move on from Tannehill.
A third on the way. No.
Potentially a third.
And that is true, but you got to also wonder if that is going to motivate Tannehill. I mean, let's be honest. A.J. Brown bailed Tannehill out quite a bit. I expect D-Hop to do the exact same. It is literally the D-Hop down there somewhere. I'm just going to chuck it, and he's going to come down with it.
That's.
Or, oh, we got short yardage. Here you go, Derek. Just take it.
I mean,
maybe sprinkle some Treylon Burks in there. You know, Vrabel. I mean, Vrabel's a very good coach who is also potentially fighting to keep his job security because we don't know what the job sheet's looking like over there.
I'm gonna get into that. That's a nice little segue to our topic where we get up. I got something to say about that one.
Give me